Uh, I don't know. The short answer is Georgia really this good? I don't know. I want to talk about something in this video that I've mentioned over the last couple of years, and it's something that bothers me, and I'm not about to change my mind now just because Georgia appears to be the team that this particular set of talking points is focused on. But look, 2019 LSU was really, really good. No doubt. 15-0 and they won the national title. Of course they were really good. 2020 Alabama was really good. Mac Jones, all those receivers, that offense they had, really, really good. Won the national title. 2021 Georgia, really, really good. Defense, one of the best we've seen in a while. They won the national title. Of course, they were really, really good. All three of those teams can't be the best team ever every single year. And now, here we are into 2022, and you have all of these articles and quotes and things coming out from mainstream football media people saying this Georgia team might be the best ever, and their offense is ridiculous, and no one's going to stay within 10 points of Georgia, and they're going to blow everybody out all year long, and blah, 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 blah. Every team can't be the best ever. I don't know how this kind of started, but we have to stop with this. First of all, we're 3 games in with Georgia. And yeah, I'm a Georgia fan. I think Georgia's really good. I think right now, Georgia's playing like the best team in the country. There ain't a single award in college football, personal, team, trophy, title, recognition, nothing, handed out the 3rd week in September. Can we play some more games? Georgia's going to be a big favorite again this weekend against Kent State. They're going to be a big favorite against Mizzou. They're going to be a big favorite against Auburn. Okay, Alabama's been big favorites against everybody they've played forever. LSU was a big favorite against everybody in 2019. I mean, it doesn't mean that Georgia's the greatest team ever. I don't think that can ever be judged in the moment. I don't think 2019 national title games should be played, LSU should win, and then 5 minutes later everybody should be running around saying LSU's the greatest team ever. I don't think Alabama should win the national title in 2020. 5 minutes after the game's over, everybody be running around going, man, we thought LSU was the best team ever, but we were wrong. Now the new champion is the best team ever. And I don't think in 2021, 5 minutes after Georgia knocked off Bama in the national title game, people should be running around saying Georgia was the best team ever or had the best defense ever or whatever the case. It was a really good defense. It was a generational defense. Let's leave it at that for now. Same with LSU for 2019. Amazing offense. Generational offense. Same with Bama for 2020. This idea that every single time something happens now it's the best ever is getting annoying. It's getting annoying. You need to put some distance between yourself and current events. And by distance, I mean years. You have to look back in time to judge things that were the greatest ever. We see this in politics now, too. If you voted for Barack Obama, he's the greatest president ever. If you didn't vote for Barack Obama, he's the worst president ever. If you voted for Trump, he's the best president ever. If you didn't vote for Trump, he's the worst president ever. And so it's not something that's just specific to football. But not everything that happens now is either the greatest or the worst ever. Believe it or not, there were great things that happened yesterday, last year, 10 years ago, and 50 years ago. And there were bad things that happened yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 50 years ago. It doesn't have to be all one way or the other. Everything that happens now is not either the best ever or the worst ever. So to get back to the original question and sort of the original kind of point of this video, is Georgia this good? Well, it depends on how good you think this good is. Georgia's clearly the best team in the country right now. They've probably got the best defense or one of the best defenses in the country right now. They've also got one of the best offenses in the country right now. No matter, I don't care what points per game, whatever you want to look at. Same with defense. There's a lot of charts floating around right now showing Georgia's defensive performance through 3 games last year versus Georgia's defensive performance through 3 games this year. And every single stat is better this year than it was last year. Of course, that's not really 100% definitive one way or the other about the 2 defenses either, because the opponents are different, the environments are different. We did have a neutral site game last year, but that was against Clemson. This year, neutral site game against Oregon. You got South Carolina, whatever. But so yeah, Georgia's defense is really, really good. Georgia's offense is really, really good. Guess what? Clemson's defense is really good too. Alabama's defense is really good. Texas A&M's defense is really good. Michigan's got a really good defense. Guess what? Alabama's got a pretty good offense. Ohio State's got a pretty good offense. Southern Cal's got a really good offense. There are lots of teams 3 weeks into the season right now that have got really good offenses, really good defenses. There's a couple of teams that appear that they might have both. I agree that right now Georgia looks like the best team in the country through the first 3 weeks of the season, but breaking news, every single year in the history of college football, somebody has looked like the best team through 3 weeks. That's not always the team that ends up with the national title at the end. So this idea that like we're currently watching the greatest team ever because Georgia looks really good 3 weeks in, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit. And I'm not even talking about Georgia fans, because I know there's going to be people in the comment section, oh, these Georgia fans are ridiculous talking like that. It's not really Georgia fans saying that. Not that there aren't any. I'm sure there are. Every fan base has. For Georgia, I call them Disney dogs. Every fan base has this certain portion of the fan base where every player is the greatest we've ever had. Every coach is the greatest we ever had. Every play call is the greatest play call ever. We're going 15-0 every single year. We're winning every national title. We're going to somehow have 5 Heisman winners on the same team. Every fan base has those type of sunshine pushers, rainbow pushers, right? I call them Disney dogs. I don't know what you call the fans. They're like that for your team where, they can do no wrong. Every year's the year, that kind of thing. So yeah, there are some, but this video is not directed towards Georgia fans. This is people in the media. People, you've seen the articles. You've had to have seen the articles and videos and clips on TV and stuff floating around of these people saying, man, this Georgia team, nobody want none of them. This might be one of the best teams we've ever seen. This might be the greatest team ever. This defense might be better than last year. Georgia fans and the media and everyone else, and really just college football fans in general, anybody who paid attention to college football last year has been spending an entire year saying that Georgia's defense last year was generational, one of the best we've ever seen. So, what, now this one is better the very next year? I'm not saying it's impossible that this defense is better, but if you talk about something being the greatest ever, and then the next year you say something is better than that, it's really taking away from your argument the previous year. If we run around saying Georgia's defense is the best ever this year, or Georgia's the best team in the history of college football this year, doesn't that take away from everything that happened last year, the year before, the year before, the year before, and the year before? I just don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Georgia's team is really, really good. 3 weeks into the season, shouldn't that be enough? I'll take it a step further like I have several times in this video. Right now, Georgia's the best team. Georgia's playing the best football. They appear to have no real weaknesses, whereas on some of the other even highly ranked teams, you can find certain areas where maybe they're struggling. You look at Alabama, they still have a few issues along the offensive line. They haven't really found any legitimate playmaking wide receivers, at least not to the degree that they're used to having, right? Will Anderson can't stay on sides to save his life. They almost lost to what I think is maybe a good, but definitely not a great Texas team. You look at Ohio State, right? Beats Notre Dame 21-10. Come to find out, Notre Dame can't beat anybody. Ohio State's defense does look like it was better than last year's, but how much better? I think we'll start to find out this week. They play Wisconsin. They're getting into their big schedule now, but there's clearly more question marks, I think, about Ohio State overall right now than there is Georgia. Go on down the list. Michigan looks amazing. They've played 3 group of 5 teams. Quarterback change, McCarthy, he's looked unreal. Let's see how he does against Big Ten competition. The defenses looked great after losing those 2 all-world edge rushers that they had last year. Let's see how the defense looks when they get into conference play. Southern Cal, offense looks amazing. That's no surprise to anybody. You bring Lincoln Riley in as well as half his offense, plus the best wide receiver in the country from last year, Jordan Addison, 200-yard rushers last week. No one's surprised that Southern Cal's got an amazing offense, are they? No. What's the question about Lincoln Riley? Defense. That's still the question. We'll sort of see how that works out through the course of the season. Clemson, front 7 might be the best in football. Quarterback play, they've got the worst quarterback of anybody in the top 5, 6, 7, or 8 in college football in DJ Ukulele. Yes, he's better than last year. That doesn't mean he's good, really good, or great. He's just better than last year. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the ACC. Okay, so maybe this year he's not stumbling over his own shoelaces, but he's by no means a great quarterback. They don't have elite playmakers on the outside like they're used to having. So there's questions, right? Georgia's the most complete team right now in week 3. Can't we just leave it at that? Can't we just leave it at that? It's not even October, okay? Nothing we have seen this year in college football should lead any of us to believe or to say that some team we've seen so far this year, whether it's Georgia or anybody else, is the greatest ever. Let it go.